everyone, and welcome to Bad Company. We are back for episode 2. Those of you who do not know, I am your co-host Brock Netter, alongside my guy Derrick Webb. And Derrick, we had a lot of success from the first episode.
I think we did. We had a lot of good feedback. I had a lot of people, just say, "Hey, we really appreciated knowing how SOSA came to be about." It was fun. It was a good time. I think that was just an introduction, though. So we set a bar. We got to raise it now.
Oh, for sure. I definitely got a lot of messages. I definitely got a couple texts as well. Given that you asked what my nickname was when I get on the highway. And that was a wonderful point of emphasis through a couple of the messages, and it was definitely awesome, the feedback. So thank you guys so much, for viewing, for listening, for all the messages you guys sent us. We're glad you enjoyed it, and that kind of leads us here to episode 2.
We're just two knuckleheads talking.
That's very true.
People are, I don't know, listening to us in the workday.
Hey, much appreciated. We appreciate it so much. That kind of takes us here to episode 2, and I can't quite remember if we discussed this on the last episode or not, but we're gonna tell some road stories.
So we got plenty,
because we've been in the sports journalist world. This is year 13 for us, I believe.
Yep.
Which is wild to think about, and I mean. And I mean, even just that story alone of how we started. Honestly, that's probably the starting point, actually.
Yeah.
So do you want to?
We could just name it road stories.
Yeah, road stories, road tripping stories on the highway, whatever the case may be.
So it was back in 2012.
Yeah, it was
in the fall, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so Brock and I went to high school together, but we didn't really ever hang out in high school. Like we didn't dislike. We didn't have beef. We liked each other, but you were a grade lower, and we just kind of had our own clique of friends, and somehow, some way, and I don't remember. Maybe you do.
Okay.
I don't remember how I got your phone number.
Oh man.
And it wasn't like, for everybody listening, it wasn't like I was like, "Hey, do you have Brock Netter's phone number? I think he's pretty cute." It wasn't anything like that. So for everybody out there saying, "Well, they're always together. I always see you guys together." It wasn't like that.
Not like that at all.
But no, I don't know how I got your phone number. I was a stringer at the Chillicothe Gazette at the time, and I'd been tasked with covering Sims Valley at Southeastern football. I can't remember. It had to be in non-conference play, obviously.
Yeah,
so
it was week 1.
If it was week 1, I can't remember. So week 1, I get an assignment, and it was my first ever game that I covered for the Chillicothe Gazette football-wise, I think ever, period. And I just remember thinking, well, how am I gonna watch the game, tweet out updates, and take stats? And so my dad and my Uncle Neil, who go with me to every game now, and they have for 7 or 8 years now. It's been a while. I hadn't even thought about asking them at the time, and Dad was actually busy that night, and I was going to ask him to go with me, and I think he had to work at Haller Funeral Home here in Chillicothe, and so I just kind of like scrolled down my contacts, and I was like, well, who would want to who likes football?
Yeah.
Who likes sports? And your name pops up. And I gave you a call, and you're like, hello? Like, why are you calling me? Who is this? And
it was like 6 o'clock. The game started at
7:30 back then.
7:30. That's true. Yeah, the game started at 7:30. But I remember I was sitting in sitting in my recliner. I was watching Coach Carter. Friday evening, 6 o'clock. I'm 20 or 21 years old.
We were
at the
young
time.
babies.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, I was 20, 21. So such a thrilling way to spend a Friday night and watching Coach Carter. And then I remember my phone rang, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, this never happens. Like, he's never ever called me or texted me ever. I don't think.
Yeah, we just talked in the hallway.
Yeah, pretty much. And so yeah. I answered, and you said, "Hey, are you busy tonight?" And I'm like, "No, what's up?" He's like, "Well, I got."
That sounds like the start of or the date.
I know. He said, "Well, I'm covering a football game tonight at Southeastern, and I need someone to take stats. Do you just want to come watch some football, get into a game for free, and take stats for me?" And I'm like, "Okay."
And
sure.
that was the first time we hung out.
That was the very first time that we had ever hung out outside of school. and it's led us all the way to here doing a podcast.
Yeah, and Sosa's here and established, and
Mhm.
Desmond Perkins was the running back
Yeah.
that night
Yep.
for Southeastern. For
Mhm.
those of you that know your football history, especially like locally in Ross County,
Yeah.
and I believe Southeastern won that game.
I think it was 28-13 they won that night.
I mean that's crazy. And so and actually all that whole season,
Mhm.
you went with me
Yeah.
every other Friday night,
All 10
and
games. Mhm.
I think the next year I got with you in the summer, and we were at that point we were just like, hey, we can hang out like not like we can be friends. We don't have to be football friends.
Yeah.
And so we became close. We developed a friendship, and the next year you started
Mhm.
writing yourself,
That was
and
that was after I turned you down.
we're still on a date timeline here. I mean, you got to
That
stop using those terms.
no, okay. So that was after you had asked me, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 times. Hey, I need a stringer. I need a stringer.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Yes,
it was
yes.
like I need a stringer.
Yep.
Like I can do it, but it would be great if I could have a stringer and have another story in the
At
sports
that
section at the
time, I
time.
had been hired full time
Yes.
at the Gazette, so
Yeah.
I was a sports editor there,
Hmm.
and I did need a stringer, and
Yeah.
I needed somebody loyal, and I knew that was going to do a good job,
Hmm.
and you're right, I just kept at like why wouldn't he just do this?
Yeah, kept on bugging me about it. I'm like, no, like I'm not a writer. No,
Yep.
no, I don't think I'd be any good. I think I said no to you for about 6 or 7 weeks, and then
Yeah,
finally, you had asked me enough. I'm like, all right, fine.
I'll try
But
it.
yeah, I'm like, I'll try it. But when my story sucks and you fire me, I want you to know there are no hard feelings. We're still boys. We're still really good friends. Nothing's gonna change. Apparently, I did a decent job that night, considering that this is year 12
Hmm.
that I'm writing stories. So,
It was well, I mean, that was a story we probably could have put in
mhm,
last week in how Sosa began,
that's true.
because that's how you started as a writer. And
Hmm.
if you weren't a writer, I mean, when I called you way back when, hey,
Hmm.
let's start a website called Southern Ohio Sports Story,
Hmm.
we probably again we wouldn't be sitting here.
That's true.
And then look at where it's taken you, and it's just more proof,
That's true.
Jenny, to my wife, that I'm always right. So. She doesn't watch this anyway. Now she'll watch this episode, and I'll get hounded for it. So, but to me that's a perfect segue to my first road story.
Okay.
You talk about when Brock became a stringer.
Mhm.
Then I got the opportunity to go with my dad, and my uncle,
Mhm.
and. My uncle Neil Glendenning and my dad Joel, you started stringing and they started going with me. Now at that time, they were young enough to stand on the sidelines and help take stats. And it became a whole system with them. My dad is a spotter. My uncle Neil became, we started back with notebooks and,
Mhm.
number one for 5 yards, number one for 7 yards,
I still do that today.
and now he's got, like iScore, and you're just clicking buttons on an iPad, and he's got every stat. We don't have to total them up. He's got every
Mhm.
stat. As soon as the game's over, he sends it to me in a PDF. And it's just like, this is easy.
Maybe that's what I need to do this year. Because I still use the stencil pad and the pen, and I'm writing down every single
Well,
play
and
as it
for those of you
happens.
that don't know, you're gonna have a camera in your hand
That's
this year,
true.
and so you're not
It
gonna be
might,
able to do
yeah,
that.
it might be extra helpful.
So yeah, I mean, it was. I think that's probably my kind of like first road story is that
Mhm.
my dad, my uncle, they go with me, and I guess it's not really a story, but they at the time they were young enough to
Yeah.
stand, do stats, the whole game,
Hmm.
and now it's to the point where dad takes a lot of nights off. He
He
doesn't like to go far. So if you see us in Ross County, that's why.
That might be story number two.
Uh,
That might be story
and
number two. Was your trip to
oh,
Ironton?
it was that. Well, that's on my list. And then he'll also, he'll if he does take stats. A lot of times
Uh,
it's in from the stands.
yeah.
We went to Eastern Beaver last year to cover South Gallia and Eastern. Actually, Dewey and John were streaming that game for us that night. And Dad, I think, spent more time with Dewey and John near the booth than he did down on the field with us. But it did turn into something good. Neil got, he captured an amazing moment on camera. It was the
Mhm.
one-handed catch.
Oh yeah.
And I think we had over like 100,000 views or something like that on,
Mhm.
all of our platforms combined.
Mhm.
And He still, he hangs his hat on that this day. So we've already had conversations this year. We'll be in Waverly next Friday, or if you're watching this on, this coming week, this Friday on week 1, and we've already had conversations. Well, Neil, you could just do video. I could just sit in the stands.
Uh-huh.
That's from Dad, and he probably will.
You know what? That wouldn't surprise me.
No,
It wouldn't
no.
surprise me.
As long as he gets a hot dog and a pop, we're good to
He's
go.
good to
He's
go.
good to go. Right.
See how easy it is to please us guys. That's literally all it takes.
I mean, yeah, I told him you can sit in the lawn chair. I mean, and he was like, "Well, you got to bring me one." I'm like, I was half kidding, but okay.
You gotta bring me one. As if he doesn't have one just sitting in his garage.
Right.
You can't convince me.
Well, he probably wants one of those like nice rockers.
That's true.
That's
true.
So, but that's my first probably road. That's not like a road story, but it's a road tale, I guess. I'll kick it over to you. We've got plenty.
Yeah,
we're loaded in the chamber.
We definitely got plenty. I will say that every story of mine is a story where me and you are going to a game together. So
all right.
Every single story. The first one I'm going to go to, it happened not this past season, 2 seasons ago. Okay. Me and you.
I gotta see if I remember all these.
No, you will once I kind of get into it. Me and you, we went to Philo. We were covering Union.
Oh yeah,
we were covering Union.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Union versus Steubenville and it was regional final, I believe.
Yes.
Unfortunately, Union they took the loss 6-4 that day.
Softball.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But the drive there was
smooth.
It was a smooth drive. A very revolutionary and eye-opening drive. That was the second time for me I had ever been to Philo, but the first time I went was because I was working in Coshocton.
Okay.
So therefore, I didn't have to make the 2-hour drive. I made like a 25-minute drive. So a little bit different, but we get to the game, everything's fine, no problem. Your your car is pushed to start, so therefore you make the have the brilliant idea. I'm gonna leave my key fob inside of the car.
That's the reason I needed it.
Yeah, it's sitting right there in the cup holder. We're like, okay, fine, cool.
Somebody could have just stolen it. No reason I needed it.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So wasn't even thinking about that. Wasn't even thinking his car could get stolen. He's like, I just don't want to have it in my pocket.
That's 100% true.
So yeah, so the game happens, game finishes. You talk to Rob Hall, you talk to Abby Marshall after the game as well, and we go back to the car. And when your key fob is inside the car, your car does not lock, or it's not supposed to lock.
See, that's the key word.
Yeah. And here goes. Derrick pulls on the door and says, "What is going on?"
There might have been a few cuss words. I was not happy.
There were, and I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "What? What's the problem?" He's like, "We're locked out." I'm like, "We're not locked out. Like your key fob was right there. I'm looking directly at it. I know how this car works. All you have to do is just put your thumb right here, and you're good." He's like, "Well, my thumb is right here, but the door's not opening." His battery had died in his key fob.
Yep.
His battery had died, so therefore everyone else is gone. We're at the point where Philo has cleared out. There's no one there at all.
Well, if you remember, we tried to get Adam Detweiler.
Oh yeah, we did.
To open my door, to like rig it, to open it.
Yep.
Then there was a sheriff's officer there that was leaving. He was the last person to leave the parking lot.
That's right.
We tried to see if he could open it, and he couldn't even.
And he couldn't. Yep. 0 for 2. So I'm like, okay, so what's gonna happen now? He's like, well, got to call AAA. I'm like, all right, we'll call AAA.
And as we're doing this, you're writing the story. By the way,
I'm writing the story. There's no Wi-Fi. I'm literally writing it on my phone, on a Google Doc. I'm like, okay, well, we've got nothing but time to kill because we got to wait on the tow truck to get here. Tow truck driver says, all right, no problem. Well, I'll get there. As soon as I can. I'm like, okay, like as soon as he can. We're in the middle of Duncan Falls, Ohio.
Yep.
He says as soon as he can. We don't know where he's at. We know that he knows.
We barely know where we're at.
Yeah, he knows. We know that he knows where we're at, but we don't know. Okay, like as soon as we can. All right. It was about 20 minutes, maybe a half hour later. He shows up. He's like, so what's the problem? I'm like, well, this guy over here, you wouldn't believe this, but his key fob died
He was a nice
on his
country
battery.
gentleman.
Yeah, like his key fob died, and he made the smart decision to leave it in his cup holder. And sure enough, we can't get in the car. And he's like, oh man, it's like, well, that's some bad luck you guys are
It took
having.
him, what, 30 seconds?
Something, if even that. So
$190 later. $190, by the way,
$190 for
later.
30 seconds of
Yeah.
work. So that's not the kicker to this story, actually. That's only part of it. The kicker to this story is that once we get on the road, I'm driving now. So driving back and everything's fine. Go through Philo, go through Newark, going through Columbus, go through Circleville. I'm like, okay, we're good. We get to where Pickaway Ross is,
Yep.
and I just happen to look up in the rear view mirror, and I see these wonderful, colorful lights in the
I do remember
rear
that, yeah.
view mirror. These wonderful red and blue lights, and I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. Like we're 5 miles from his house.
Yeah.
Like this would happen. So pull over. Officer's like, do you know why I pulled you over? The classic question they all ask. I'm like, well, I'm gonna guess I was speeding. He's like,
Because you always are.
like, and he's like, well, you got that right. I'm like, okay. He's like, do you know how fast you were going? I don't have a clue. I legitimately did not have a clue. He said, well, this is a 60-mile-an-hour zone. I'm like, yeah. He's like, you were going 75. I'm
Yep.
like, okay,
I believe that.
got it. Cool.
What's your family call you again?
NASCAR netter.
Yeah, NASCAR netter.
Getting from point A to point B.
They're not wrong.
No.
That's why you drive, because we get there quicker,
Get there
but I
from point A to
also
point
cling to my
B.
life. You know.
There's still more stories. So he's like, well, yeah. He's like, all right, license and registration. So I give him my license. I give him the registration that does not have my name on it because it's Derrick's car. He's in the passenger seat. And
I'm just happy I found it.
he's like, that too. I'm happy your tags were up to date at that time too.
Sometimes they're not. That's true.
So he comes back, gives me my ticket, and he's like, just slow down. That ticket was $145.
So it was a total of what, $300 and
$335.
Yeah.
You spent more
I
for
did.
less time.
I did spend more. That's a good point. It's true.
But yeah.
It was an expensive trip.
Yeah, it was. And Philo of all places.
Yeah, so you talk about long road trips.
Uh-huh.
And first on my list, you had mentioned it earlier, is it goes with me and Joel.
Mhm.
And like I said, Dad doesn't like, to be far away from home or away from home after a certain time.
After a certain time.
And so
his classic line, boys, it's almost my bedtime.
it's 100%. I should be in my chair.
And it's like 7:30.
Right.
Okay.
And now here's the thing. I'm starting to get that way. I've got 3 little ones, and I swear to you, last basketball season, I was at Waverly's downtown gym. The season had just started, and it's halftime. The game starts at 7:30, right?
Yeah.
It's halftime, and it's at, I don't know, 9:15, 9:30. The game got started a little bit late, and I remember thinking, like, I mean, I'm 15, 20 minutes away from Waverly, but I remember thinking, like, I should be in my chair right now. And I'm like, wow, I sound like Joel. Having said that, there was week 3, I think week 3 of the 2021 season. I can't remember which season it was. Anyways, Jackson went to Ironton that night to play. And obviously you get those two together, and somebody from SOSA is going to be there. They're two powerhouses.
Can't wait for week 5.
And we chose to go down. It was my first time to Tanks Memorial Field in Ironton. Beautiful stadium. I mean, there's proven evidence, and multiple media outlets have put them in the top 20, or put the venue that is in the top 20 in the entire state. And so I was excited to get down there to cover it. And so we go all the way to Ironton. Dad takes us to a I think it's called, the
Armory?
The Armory.
Okay.
It was the Armory. It was a restaurant. If you've never been to the Armory, by the way, go. It's the amazing food.
True.
I remember thinking this
Great
night's
ribs.
great. We get there early. We're fed well. Dad's happy because he's fed well, and we get into the seats there, and it starts getting a little bit dark. And the game was at 7. Teams have warmed up. Ironton has been introduced, I believe. And it crack of lightning. So, and for those of you that don't know, and I'm sure many of you do, that's 30 minutes before game time is going to start again.
Yeah.
And so
And what
I
follows
said,
is
well,
every crack of lightning, the clock resets.
yes, exactly. And so at that point, I thought, well, 7:30, no big deal.
No problem.
And it lightning for the next probably 30 minutes. Well, 8 o'clock, all right, And it got to be about 7:45, and there's like heat lightning. Like it's not even real. Like it's real lightning, but it's not like. I guess it's not dangerous lightning. If
Correct.
that's all lightning is, but you know what I'm saying. And
it's up in the clouds. It's just flat.
and as long as the referees see it, it's another 30 minutes.
Another 30. Yep.
So about 7:45, 8 o'clock is there's the heat lightning, and I can see Dad squirming. We're sitting up under the tarp at that point, and he's just like, oh my God. It was that look you've seen probably from Dad. And it gets to about 8:30, another crack of lightning. He's like, we're just gonna have to go home. I'm like, Dad, we're not. It's Jackson and Ironton. We're not going home. And he said, I'm gonna be asleep. There's no way. I'll be asleep right here, sitting here in the stands. I'm like, well, take a nap. We're not. We can't go anywhere. And 9 o'clock game starts.
You got 30 minutes. Power nap.
Well, that's what I told him. Go to the car, take a nap. And so we get 9 o'clock. The game finally starts. It's about dark in first quarter. I think halftime it's like 10:30. I'm on the field after the game talking to Ironton's Jack West Keys after the game at like 12:15. And if you remember, it's the same matchup where Jackson they had it was a 7-6 lead. Or it was 10-7. It was a 10-7 lead.
Oh, was that?
And Ty Perkins runs the kickoff back
they kicked the field
on the
goal,
last play of the game to win 13-10, and that's how Ironton wins the game. So glad we stayed. But I think we rolled into my driveway that night at like 1:45, and Dad's eyes were bloodshot. And so since that night, I'll text him and Neil in our group text for football, and I'll say, well, fellas, where do you think we're going to go this week? And Dad's like, as long as it's in Ross County. So we're going to Waverly. It's Pike County. He a little bit out of his comfort zone, this to start this football season. So that's, if you think about it, Brock, how many times have we had to wait, delay? You had the worst of luck this past spring. I feel like it was every other night. Brock's tweeting out about a weather delay, and I'm just laughing because it happened to me like once in the spring.
Yeah.
You've also had overtime where. A bunch.
I went through a string.
Stephen Forsha still talks about that from Highland County Press.
I think it was the 2023 fall season, and it came to soccer tournaments. I saw 6 straight overtime games.
It's impressive, honestly.
I was beside myself.
So that same week, I cover a game at Valley, and it's girls soccer tournament game, and Stephen Forsha from the Highland County Press, he sees me and he's like, thank God. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I'm just so glad you're not Brock. And I was like, well, what did Brock do? He's like, we're not going to have overtime tonight. Every time I see Brock, we go into overtime. So yeah. But I'll stop picking on Joel with the remainder of my tales.
I don't know. These stories are good.
I mean, yeah, it's and if you know my dad, and a lot of the viewers probably do, they've seen Dad with me at games, and he gets a little bit, after a certain bedtime, he gets to be Nancy, and that's what we tell him and bug him about, and Neil's just fine. He's in the car. Well, whatever time we get home, we're home. I'll sleep it off.
We're home. We're fine.
Dad's just chomping at the bit. Well, I gotta get to bed. So yeah.
Oh goodness. Oh, that's good. That's good. This next story, I recently told this story to someone, and I couldn't get through it without laughing. And
there's a lot of those.
I know, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not exactly 100% sure I should tell this story. But
we're getting risque.
But I'm going to anyway.
Okay.
So I
don't know if I should be scared or not.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
You're fine.
All right.
You'll crack up at this. So this is 2018. Me and you both at this time are in Illinois.
Okay.
You had came back the second time.
Okay. Okay. We need a chart. But all right.
You had came back the second time, and we were we were going down to cover state baseball. Hersher.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Hersher had made it down to the Final Four. and the Final Four was in Peoria,
Mhm.
which from where we were to Peoria was just under 2 hours away. So, long road trip. On the way down
Oh, I think I remember what. Yeah.
on the way down, we're probably about an hour into this trip, and the final stretch is nothing but pure highway.
Hmm.
So I've got cruise control on. It's a,
At
s-
90.
it's a 70. I'm going about 82.
Okay.
So not overly speeding, but once again, I'm trying to get from point A to point B. I think what I've learned is when it says ETA and it gives me a time,
It's a
it's a
competition.
competition. I'm like, okay, you say 140, I bet I can get
So you don't go by 7, you're fine. 8, you're mine.
absolutely
Okay, I
not.
got you.
No, no,
All
no, no,
right.
no.
Or 8, you're mine. 9, you're mine. Something like that.
Whatever the ETA is, I'm gonna knock it down by 10 minutes. I'm gonna try, depending on where I'm going at least. So we're about an hour into this trip, and and off to the right, about I don't know, probably 250 feet or so, we see a truck got pulled over, and obviously there's a Stady right behind him, and so we're passing along, and right as our car is right next to the cop car, the guy takes off running.
Yeah, the guy that was driving the
The
truck. Yeah.
guy that's driving the
Yep.
truck, he takes off running. No idea why he was pulled over. I'm guessing for speeding. I don't know. But he takes off running.
He's quick too.
And at this point, I know I should be paying attention to the road, but when
We're
that's
both.
happening, I'm not looking at the road. The one thing I did know was that there was no one in front of me, so I knew I was quote unquote safe. I was safe to look at the action for at least the next 5 seconds. I knew I was okay. So that's exactly what I did. We both at the same time turned our head and we see this guy running, this this officer chasing after him, and we see this guy get tackled
Mhm.
on the highway.
Straight like all the way extended in midair tackle too from the police
Exactly.
officer. It was amazing.
He's tackled on
It
the
looked
high.
like an NFL linebacker. It was
It
amazing.
was so incredible. He gets tackled, and we both react the same. We're like, "Oh,
At
gosh,"
82 miles
at
an hour.
82 miles
Right.
an hour. Somehow, some way, the car is still in the lane. So I'm like, I'm good. So looking back, I'm like, okay, we're still good. Looking back again, I'm looking in the rear view mirror at this point. I'm like, okay, what's about to happen next? Keep in mind, this has all happened while I'm going 82 miles an hour. So I should not be seeing a single
It
thing.
was like a live episode of
It
Cops.
was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. So I said, he the officer has the guy on the ground. He's tackled. He's putting him in handcuffs. And now at this point, we're too far to see anything.
Yeah.
But you look at me and you're like, that was incredible.
It was so incredible. I felt bad for the guy, but it was so amazing. I was like, wow, that was so athletic. I mean, that state trooper had training.
he,
All
he,
right.
he put that training to
He
use.
passed it with flying colors. I saw it live. And Brock just starts. You started laughing. I'm like, I don't know why you're laughing. This is amazing. So, okay, my next story. I don't know if I should be telling this one either.
Okay.
So this one. We were together,
Okay.
kind of.
Okay.
So we go to Fairfield Union one night.
Okay.
Miami Trace's girls were playing that night at Fairfield Union. We had just started covering the Mid-State League,
Mhm.
and good game. Miami Trace they were state ranked. Fairfield Union was an up and coming program at the time, and
Yeah.
of course they're really good now. State ranked, Final
Mhm.
Four last year. I mean, you're talking about two powerhouse programs. We're like, okay, let's go cover this game.
Yeah.
We had never been to Fairfield Union.
No, it was a Wednesday night also.
It was, yes.
I remember this very well.
And so Brock and I are like, we're big guys, we're hungry.
Mhm.
We stop at 1790 Ale House, I believe. 1791.
1890.
It was in the past, Ale House.
1890 Ale House.
And,
downtown Lancaster. Great place.
Oh, if you've 100%. And every time I go to Fairfield Union now,
Yep.
I stop there
Mhm.
to get a bite to eat before we go to the game,
Yeah.
or the Cherry Street Pub.
Fantastic place.
Listen, episode 3 might just be places we ate.
That's very true.
But anyways,
Peanut butter and jelly wings.
from the Cherry Street Pub.
Woo-hoo.
But so we stop at this place, and on the menu I see a chorizo burger. And the chorizo burger was very good. Let me just preface it by saying that.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
If you've ever had a chorizo burger, it's pretty spicy. And so that night we were fine. We covered the game, got home, good to go. But the next night, my body had processed the chorizo burger. So the next night I go to Eastern Brown, and at the time, Eastern Brown with Riley Leonard, they were playing, I believe North Adams,
Mhm.
with, oh,
Mm.
escaping my name, Harper, Avery
Oh,
Harper,
okay,
and
yeah,
they were two, again, powerhouse girls basketball
Delaney, yeah,
programs.
yeah.
Anytime you get the shack together, I mean, you got to go
Mhm.
cover that game, right?
100%.
Great game. I'm on my way back, and that chorizo burger starts calling my name. And if you've ever been down Highway 32, there's not a lot of places.
Well, once you get past Peebles, good
Yeah,
luck.
there's not a lot of rest places. Let's put it that way. And so Derrick goes to the People's McDonald's, and People's McDonald's is closed. And I'm like, all right, well, we're gonna have to cowboy up and shoot from a hip all the way back to Piketon, and hope to God we can get to Piketon before having maybe to stop on the side of the road or
Uh-huh.
wherever. So I think the viewers know where I'm going with this.
Mhm.
I'd had my gallbladder out to
Oh,
say that,
that's right.
and it was when you have your gallbladder out, you eat certain things, and it whether you like it or not.
It processes faster.
Yes, you don't have a gallbladder to help with going to the
With,
bathroom stage of that,
yeah.
right? So I'm coming down 32 and clenching, and we're coming. I'm going like I'm driving like Brock, 82 in a 60, and I see the red and yellow and blue lights behind me, and I'm like, "There's no way that this isn't happening," because I promise you that if I stop right now,
Mhm.
this officer's gonna have a mess. He's gonna write a ticket, but he's gonna have a mess, and I mean it because there ain't no stopping for Derrick at this point. And so
Oh my goodness.
if 32, there's a lot of like, you can just dodge into like a dirt road or like
Mhm.
a back road or whatever it is. And so this guy's coming up behind me and I'm flying. And I see him on the right and I tried to slow down, but I'm like, if no matter what, like
Mhm.
I'm probably in hot water here because I know I'm speeding
Yeah.
and I know he saw me. And then
Mhm.
he pulled out and put his lights on, right? And I'm like, I'm pretty much I'm dead in the water here.
Yeah.
So I see one of these back roads,
Mhm.
and I shoot into one of those back roads, and then I turn into a house
Okay.
that like right on that road. And I never forget there. I got into the house and into the driveway and turned my lights off because I'm like, please don't come. And so my worst fear was unlocked though. What if I'm sitting in the driveway and then still the cop sees, okay, well, this guy's evading the law.
Uh-huh.
That's what I was doing probably. But he obviously doesn't know the circumstance.
Yeah.
And then I still have to go to the bathroom. I just get arrested, you know? And so fine. So I do. I'm sitting there idle and I hear the lights go by. I'm like, thank you, baby Jesus.
Mhm.
Thank you so much. I get back out on the highway. I did make it to Piketon
There you go.
in time. But that was probably, trust me, there's a lot more stories
Oh,
where that
man.
comes from. Brock could tell that. Well, that could be a whole episode. It's not going to be, but it could be. But yeah, it's one of my proudest moments, Brock.
One of your proudest moments, evading police. You gotta teach me the tale. You
I
gotta
wonder if there's like a statute of limitations. They're going to come get me now.
Probably
Okay,
not.
all right.
You should be fine. It was over 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was more than that. Yeah.
Yeah, you should be a-okay.
So that's the one story I'll tell like that. Okay.
To
So keep it PG.
Fair enough. To just to be honest, there was another story I was gonna
That's
tell,
true.
and before before we came on, I asked him, "Hey, am I okay to tell this story?" And he kind of thought about it for a little bit, and then said, "Nah, I
Listen,
probably shouldn't tell
if
that
the
one."
listeners want to know that, they can come up to me personally at a ball game,
Fair
and we'll
enough.
figure it out from there. All
Fair
right.
enough. Fair enough. All righty here. So this would be, I think, story number 3 for me. Story number 3. We are going to Canton.
Hmm.
We're going to Canton. This is 2023, I believe so.
Ironton's.
Yes,
Yes. Uh
yes,
huh.
for Ironton State Championship game against South Range.
Yep.
They lost that one, unfortunately, but they did make up for it.
They
So
did.
yeah, so I I had taken a personal day at work.
Hmm.
I taken a personal day. Side note, I got in trouble for that as well.
Oh,
Yeah, I got in trouble
they'll be all right.
for taking the personal day because my principals found out. To be fair, I did post it on Twitter where I was.
That's kind of your fault.
It is what it is. What it is. But we we go to Canton and we go to dinner. Everything's fine. We're just checking out the city. I think this is one of the few times at that time that we had actually been.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, let's go see the city. Let's go see what it's about. Let's go see, some of the different places. Find out where we want to eat. So we do that. We we find a brewery,
Mm-hmm.
and we're there. We're eating, having a good time. I believe the Bills were playing the Falcons. It was Thursday night. I think the Bills were playing the Falcons, and it gets to halftime, and we're like, okay, let's just go back to the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Go back to the hotel because I believe Ironton played at 10:30 that
Yeah, they
morning.
played early.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, they had the first game. So like, all right, let's go back to the hotel. No problem. So we get to the hotel. It gets to 10 o'clock. Bills Falcons is still on, and out of nowhere, and I mean out of nowhere, it's dead silent. You start cackling, and I mean
I don't remember this.
cackling.
Okay.
I don't know why. You're cackling for like 5 minutes, and I look at you, and I'm like, "What is wrong with you? What are you doing?" And you're like, "Bro, I don't know. I don't know. It's so funny." And I'm like,
I was probably slap happy.
You were so slap happy
I
for
probably saw something on TikTok. It's hard to
possibly for the next 45 minutes. You could not control yourself.
tell.
You were beyond God. You would have thought Kevin Hart was putting on a performance in our hotel room.
Then I had about 4 hours of sleep, if that.
If that. Now here's the kicker. That was from like 10 o'clock to like 10:45. He was just so slap happy.
Hmm.
10:46, snoring.
Me?
Yes, out.
I don't remember that.
Out like
I remember being so tired the next morning.
10:46, you fell asleep. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, that was quick. That was abrupt. 10 minutes later,
I don't snore. That's what I tell my wife. Doesn't happen.
I'm like, okay. I'm like, he is out. I'm thinking he's out for the night. So I'm still watching Bills Falcons. About 20 minutes later, you roll over. Hey, like, what? What's up? I'm like, I can't sleep.
Yeah, see, I told you.
I'm like, you've been asleep for the last 20 minutes. No, I haven't. You've been snoring for 20 minutes. I have a video of you snoring because it was kind of impressive, actually.
You're welcome.
How loud the register it could have registered on the Richter scale.
Button
How loud.
logs.
I was like, okay. And yeah, you were up probably to about 4 o'clock.
It was awful. I just remember. So the next morning, it was so cold that morning, but it was such a good thing for me because it was cold and it like woke me up. And then on the way back, I was just like out again. I was like, this is awful. We've had a lot. So for those that don't know me, well, I've got terrible sleeping problems. And they've gotten a lot better, in my older age, maybe just go to sleep easier. But every time Brock and I, if you see me at a tournament and it's out of town, I'm probably sleep deprived because I just don't sleep well.
Possible.
There's been a lot of those stories. And that kind of, well, that's a great segue into my next story is that people really, I think they see us at games, but they don't understand a lot of times like what we had to go through to get to that game. And
fair.
this is a perfect example. This was this past basketball season.
Okay.
Dewey had come up with a lens that the kids could sign.
Oh yeah.
After the basketball games in the tournament.
Fantastic idea. Shout out to you, dude.
So we're going to the convo, and I got to get my camera there because that's the camera we're going to use to sign. And so on the way there, in between Chillicothe and Richmondale, I blow a tire.
Oh, that's right.
And it was, I don't know what, I remember hearing it in the car, and then as soon as I heard something, tire light comes on. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I'm not late. I actually left early, thank goodness. But if you've ever been in between Chillicothe and Richmondale, and I'm sure a lot of you have, there ain't nothing in between, the two.
Except for Southeastern.
And that's another way if you're going to Athens. So, Lord willing, I get to the little quick stop gas station on the left there.
Okay.
Call my mom and my dad because my wife is home with the kids. I said, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" They're eating a tumbleweed in the middle of dinner.
Mhm.
Well, you're not eating anymore. What do you mean? Well, you got to come get me. I mean, I don't know what to do. So they do. God bless them. It was before 8:30, so Dad could come, but they immediately stop eating, bag up their food. They get on the road and come and meet me at this quick stop.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, I'm on the phone with Dewey, Carson, and Shane at the time. Or I'm sorry, not Shane. Shane will be calling games for us this fall. It'd be John.
John, yeah.
And they're in the car and they're about in Jackson. I'd actually called them first to see if I could just jump in the car with them.
Mhm.
They're too far gone. And so we had a photographer there that night, Eric Fike, and I'm going in between. Well, should I go? Should I not? We already have a photographer there,
Yeah.
but I wanted the kids to be able to sign the camera because I thought it was such a good idea, and it was an amazing idea, and the videos turned out great. I think they loved it, and it was just a fun time.
Yeah.
Well, Dad and Mom meet us. Dad takes my car with basically a flat tire at this point and drives it all the way to Chillicothe. The next morning, we went into Cooper Tires and we had it sitting there. The next morning, it was completely flat.
Mhm.
And it was like a screw about that big that it popped it. And Mom that night was a trooper. So when Dad and Mom meet us, Mom says, "Well, you can just jump in my car. I'll just go with you." And I was like, "Well, you don't have to do that." She's like, "Well, I'm not riding in that car. It's got a flat tire." No care whatsoever for Joel. And she wanted to see some good basketball. So we get to the convo that night. I think we left at, I don't know, it was 10:30, 10:45. So Joel couldn't have went anyway. He turned into a pumpkin. And I told my mom as I was walking out of the convo, and I still mean this, the reason that SOSA is successful is because of nights like that. We found a way to still get there.
Yep.
I didn't want to go at that point. I was worried about my car. I was worried about, I hadn't seen my kids in a long time. So I was like, maybe this is a sign from God. You just need to go home and and hang out with your kids. But I wanted the kids to be able to sign that camera.
Yeah.
And I thought it would be a cool experience for them. And it was. It turned out, like I said, it turned out amazing. But I did. I told my mom that night, there's so many stories like this one where, not just a pop tire, but at the same time, we've had other stories where we didn't have to go, or maybe we shouldn't have went at some point.
True.
You talk about weather, you talk about circumstances that are beyond our control, but we still did. And a lot of people have, they'll ask me like, how do you guys, how do you keep it going? And that's how you got to grind
every day.
And that would be my only. I get asked sometimes, what would be your advice to a young journalist? You got to grind. Like you're not gonna. This is not a profession where you're gonna make a bunch of money. It's not a profession where you're going to. Sometimes sure you'll go right for the Bengals and you're making $150,000 a year. Well, that's awesome. But the chances of that happening, are 1 in 32 in the NFL, right?
Very slim. Yeah.
And so you have to love what you do. And I think that's what's so cool about our group at SOSA is like everybody in our group loves what they do. They love lifting up our kids. And I wish we had something like when we were in high school, like SOSA to lift us
100%.
up. And I'm thankful that hopefully my kids will have that in the future. So
no doubt.
But I could tell stories like that, of pop tires, windshield wipers. I'm coming back from Zanesville. This is a bonus story. I'm coming back from Zanesville this past at winter. Unioda had played their girls in a regional semifinal, and it was raining that night. And so earlier that day, my windshield wipers were awful. I knew it was going to rain, and so I came to your house, and because if you know anything about Derrick, he has no idea about cars, zero. And so I was like, "Hey, Brock," and when I say no idea about cars, like at one point I did not know I had a spare tire in my trunk. And now I'm like, wow, that's crazy. And so,
are you going to tell that story of how you discovered it?
Maybe another time. That's for Jenny to tell. Basis of it, my wife had to change my tire. Anyways, so the windshield wipers, I went over to your house and said, Brock, we put these windshield wipers on. You're like, what? Like, why can't you do it? And I'm like, well, I have no idea how.
I don't know how.
He's like, are you serious? I'm like, I'm here, aren't I? Yeah. And so,
like, all right.
So you put the windshield wipers on, and coming back from, you didn't do it right though.
That is true.
Because coming back from Zanesville that night, I'm in a thunderstorm, and my driver's side windshield wipers goes like this, flies and goes on the
Yeah.
highway, and it's pouring. And I'm like,
Yeah.
this is the night that I go see Jesus. And so I'm on my way back. I'm in Circleville. I drove all the way from Circleville to Chillicothe. Uh, and I'm not even like a couple times I put my hand out the window and wiped off the windshield because I'm like, how am I can't see anything. And so I called you that night, didn't I? And I said,
You
"Hey,
did.
great job putting the windshield wipers
I
on."
was like, thanks, man. He was like, no, that was sarcasm. I'm like, what am I? What are you talking about?
Yep.
And he proceeded to tell me that story.
To your credit, though, I got to Zanesville and all the way back from to Circleville.
And almost
so.
all the way back. I don't exactly know what went wrong. I'll have to give it another shot.
Yeah.
I'll have to.
Well, no, I just went to AutoZone. They did it. So
That's fair too.
So yeah, you don't have to know anything about cars when you walk in there. So
Well,
all right.
Well, you got to know a little bit because you have to at least be able to tell them what the problem is.
Hey, the windshield wiper's broke. Which car? It's right there. That's the existence of
Why
my
didn't you do
car
that
knowledge.
in the first place?
That's a really good question.
That's my question.
That's a great question.
You had to buy the windshield wiper from somewhere.
True.
And I'm pretty sure if you
I just wanted, I wanted to hang out.
I mean, I appreciate that. But it was 11:30 and you were at work.
I was on the clock, killing time.
Exactly.
So, all right, one last story. I think we might have told our best.
Oh man.
Though. So I know you've got yours queued up.
Yeah.
So pick one last. Let's pick one last story, then
Okay.
we'll talk for a minute about our football landscape.
Okay.
And then we'll get out of here.
I may have 1.5 stories.
That's fine. 1.5. I'm cool with that.
Half one short.
All right.
I'll save the half one for the end, simply because it's a little heartfelt.
Okay. All right.
So the one final story. This is the one and only time I think that you have ever covered golf.
Maybe.
Okay. So it is 2016. Okay.
Okay. Yes, you're correct. Yeah.
2016, and we I want to say we had just finished a week 8 of football season, and we both had gone to a game. We went back to the Gazette office.
Yep.
Wrote the stories. There were a few other things that you had to do, and we had state golf the next morning.
Yep, at the Scarlet course, Ohio State. Yep.
Yes. So.
Well, it wasn't Ohio State, but
No. It was at I think it was at Big Walnut.
Something like that. Yeah.
Somewhere up there around Sunbury. So we finished. Night is done. It's like 1:30 in the morning at this point. And you had told me, hey, we're gonna go halfway. We're gonna stay at your grandma's house that night. So I was like, okay. I was like, are you sure? Because it's 1:30 in the morning, and I'm pretty sure she's probably been asleep for like 2 hours at this point. Like, oh, it's just fine. We're good.
I told her we were coming, so I mean, I gave her a warning.
Yeah, I was like, okay, cool, no problem. So we get up there. We we get squared away. I thought I was sleeping on the couch. That's where I thought I was sleeping.
Grandma's not gonna let you do that.
Yeah, Grandma was not gonna let me do that. Which God bless her. Love you for that. There was another bed. I was like, okay. I was like, all right, cool. At this point, we had never done this. We had never actually like slept in the same bed.
Right.
Up to this point. Well, we checked that off our list that night.
Well, now we have to sometimes with hotel rooms, and
that's very true.
And sometimes me and you both probably want to sleep on a recliner somewhere because we both snore.
That's a good point.
Yep.
That's a very good point. So I was like, okay, well, not on my bingo card tonight, but here we go. First time for everything. So
she wouldn't let me sleep on the couch.
That's very true. It's 2:45 in the morning at this point. Neither one of us can get to sleep. We could not get to sleep for anything. So
we're so wired.
So we're just up talking. We're up talking, laughing, making jokes. I can't and I will not say the joke, but you made a reference to a ketchup dispenser.
Yeah.
You made a reference to a ketchup dispenser, and for some reason, probably because at this point
you were slap happy.
Because at this point it's like 3:25 in the morning. It just hit my funny bone. Perfect. I don't know if it was the way you delivered it. I don't know if it was just a comparison, but I lost it. Absolutely lost it. and you're trying to calm me down, but in the process of you trying to calm
I
me
try to,
down,
hey, shut up. Grandma's going to wake up.
exactly, you start losing it too.
Yeah, because you won't stop. Right.
Like, dude, if you don't shut up, grandma's
Right.
gonna come in here.
My grandma. Yeah.
Exactly. So sure enough, that ends up happening. It's 3:37 in the morning at this
Yep.
point. I'm just making up the time at this point, but I know
It was late.
I know it was late. So your grandma comes in and says, "Is everything okay in here?"
She was like, what is going on in there?
Because I can hear you guys in my room.
And we're like cackling. Yep. My grandma was what, 75, 70 at the time, something like that.
Something like that. We are cackling. We're slap happy. We couldn't get to sleep. We hadn't been asleep since the night before. Obviously.
No, right.
And so we're laughing and answering her like, "Fine, I promise you, everything's good."
And then she starts laughing.
She couldn't help it. Like, he just made this really funny joke, and I just couldn't stop. And
Yep.
now he can't stop, so we just kind of got to let this thing ride out.
Yep.
It's like 4:07 in the morning at this point. So we finally get to sleep. Now, we we finally get to sleep. It's like, yeah, somewhere around 4:07, 4:10. We finally get to sleep. Our alarms go off. It's 7:30 in the morning.
Yep.
Because we had never covered golf up to this point.
Nope.
We had never ever done it. We didn't know how.
We were new to it. Yeah.
We didn't know how it worked or anything like that. Basically, what we knew is, okay, there's 18 holes of golf. There's a lot of kids.
Yep.
We
got to get there.
Yeah, like we got to get there because there's only one team that we're covering,
Yep.
which was Piketon. So your grandma, God bless her,
was there.
Were they?
Yeah. They had Piketon's team, I believe, was there.
Piketon's
or a
team
couple
was there.
members of their team.
Yeah.
But the player of the year that year, I can't remember his name now. But I remember him. Because that was the first hole that we covered.
Okay,
Yep.
gotcha. Okay. So
Peyton something.
It might have
been a lot of names.
So 7:30 in the morning, and God bless your grandma once again. She's up. She's up and she's made us breakfast.
Yep.
And I'm like,
her signature cinnamon what was it? I can't remember what it's cinnamon French toast.
Yes, that's what it was. Amazing, by the way. It was amazing. I'm like, okay, perfect. We're running on 3 hours of sleep. Like we probably needed the sugar a little bit at that point. So so we made a French toast. We got ready. We're like, okay, we got to shoot up to Sunbury. At least I think that's where it was.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, keep in mind, we had no idea how golf worked. We just knew there are 18 holes, kids are playing.
Yep.
Okay. We had treated it like a football game because that was kind of all we knew.
You got to be there at the
up
start.
to that point. Yeah, you got to be there at the start. So we were there at the start. We made it up there. It was like a 10 o'clock tee time.
Mm-hmm.
So we made it up there.
And it had been pushed back.
Yeah.
Because of the dew on the.
That's right.
Yeah.
Forgot about that. So we make it up there, and everyone tees off. We're watching the first tee. Everyone swings. We're like, okay, cool. And then it kind of dawns on us. Wait a minute. They have
18, 17 left.
They have 18. They just teed off. And and we're not going to walk.
It's 10 a.m.
We're not going to walk all this. Not a chance.
They wouldn't let us.
Yeah. We're like, oh my gosh. Like this is.
So what time do we leave that day?
Good. It's part of the story.
Okay.
So
I can't remember.
So once again, it was they had teed off 10:15, and once that kind of dawned on us, oh, we can't follow, and we're not gonna walk all 18 holes to follow them, even if they gave us a chance. Like, well, we got a lot of time to kill. So we go inside to the clubhouse. College game day is on.
Yeah.
We sat there. We watched College game day.
Mm-hmm.
We then watched the first half of whatever the 12 o'clock game was. We watched the first half. We leave the golf course. We go to Cracker Barrel. We spend an hour and a half inside a Cracker Barrel. We had eaten, looked at the gifts, pondered a bunch of other things, whether to get something or not. We're like, okay, well, now it's 3 o'clock. We're figuring, okay, they got to be on 18 by now.
They got to be almost done, right?
Like,
they got to be almost done.
They were not.
No, they were close.
They weren't. They're on hole. They were on like hole 10 at that point.
Yep.
Like, oh my gosh, this is going to take even longer. So we go back into the clubhouse. All it is just myself. It's Derrick. There's a worker and there's a guy selling shirts. And Alabama is playing Texas A&M.
I remember that. Yep. Derrick Henry was playing with us. Yeah.
Yes, he was. Jake Cooker was Alabama's quarterback. We watched them beat the brakes off Texas A&M.
Yeah, it was not a good
It was
game.
like 38-7 at halftime. We're like, okay, they got to be close because it's like 5:30 at this point. Finally, I don't know if it was just dumb luck. We just happened to look outside and we're like, oh, like there's Python's team right
Mhm.
there. That's 18. We're good.
Yeah.
Finally. So we go out. We watch them, putt, finish, everything's good. We talked to their coach, talked to a couple of the kids. We're like, all right, let's get out of here. It's now like 6:15 at this point. We get in the car and we say, we're never doing this again.
Not at the start, no. Well, there's when you cover certain sports,
Yeah.
that was the first time I ever had to cover golf.
Mhm.
And I was like, well, like you said, well, you just treat it like any other event.
Yeah.
And it was like, wait, okay, this is a 9-hour event.
Mhm.
And it's not that I didn't want to cover golf for 9 hours, but at the same time, it was, well, I can't talk to anybody. You can't interview
Exactly.
any kids. You
Yeah.
can't write anything.
I can't go on to the middle of the fairway and ask a kid,
Right.
and say, okay,
What do you think about this upcoming putt?
exactly. Like what you got? Okay. I see you're using a 7-iron. Why are you using a 7-iron?
Yeah, exactly.
Why not use an 8 right here?
But we got it done
We did. We
got it
did.
done.
I don't know how we got it done, but we did get it done.
because we were slap happy still because we didn't
Boy.
have much sleep. Yeah.
Yeah, that was an interesting drive home.
So the last story I'll tell,
Okay.
there's been many times where we've driven overnight places. Okay. So we covered high school football one Friday night and drove to Florida that night.
Oh my God.
And
Yeah.
that same trip when we drove to Tampa and we were coming back, it was like 2:30 in the morning one morning. We were supposed to leave that like the next morning, 7 or 8. Neither one of us could sleep. Said, screw it, let's just go.
Let's just go.
We're going. And then we drove overnight again. We
Sure
took
did.
turns sleeping in the car. And so
Oh.
the one thing I remember about that night was that at 2:45 we stopped and got some type of coffee at a McDonald's that was open 24 hours.
I think
It was like a turtle macchiato
Something like that, yeah.
cappuccino, and I was
We
like, Brock, what the heck is that?
we were in Elizabethtown, Kentucky.
Yeah.
I remember that.
But the one probably overnight that sticks out to me, a lot of times when we were in Kankakee, which is over in
I
Illinois,
knew this is where you were going.
we would, we'd come back in the night. That way we'd, come home when we'd have the whole day at home.
Correct.
And we'd stay for 3, 4, 5 days and then go back, to Kankakee to write sports there.
Yeah.
And Friday, we always had to close down the newspaper on Fridays. The
Yep.
sports department did. So Brock and I are sitting at the Kankakee Daily Journal, and about 5.5 hours away from Chillicothe at like 10:45.
Somewhere around there.
And finally, we leave at like
It was about 1:30 in the morning.
in the morning.
Yeah.
We're already tired, and we get into the car, and about an hour or hour and a half after you leave Kankakee, you get out into the open highway.
Yeah.
And they have like the wind solar,
Yeah, the windmills.
the windmills, the Creed Inter, whatever. Anyways, they have those big windmills on that one stretch of highway. And so Brock and I are going, and then in Illinois, there's nothing. So it's just completely, there's no like trees. It's just a bunch of farm straight,
It was the same thing in Indiana.
farmland,
Yeah.
basically. And so we're 2 states away, and both states are just flat.
Mm-hmm.
We're coming back, those, windmills are hitting, and it starts to storm. And the lightning out there, when it lightnings, you can see it hit the
Yeah.
ground. It's
Yeah.
weird. Because here, it's usually you're on a hill, you can't really, it's in the sky. Out there, you see it hit the ground.
Yep.
It's pouring rain, and this dude is going like 85 miles an hour at 2:15 in the morning. I can't see in front of me, and it's lightning on all sides. And I say that to say that is probably one of, 27 times where I thought I was going to lose my life with you in the car. I could not wait to get back home because I was like, Brock, dude, you got to slow down. We were in Zanesville one night, bonus story. We were covering Zanesville's girls basketball team, and if you know anything about Zanesville, there's a bunch of construction all of the time. And we're coming up to, a split.
Uh-huh.
And right in the middle is a concrete barrier. And Brock didn't know that there's a concrete barrier in the middle.
Had no idea.
And again, you're going 82 and a set, 60.
No, I slowed down on this one.
You'd slow down a little bit.
I slowed down on this one because there was a truck in front of me. That was the problem. Was that
But you were in his back seat.
There was a truck in front of me, so I couldn't see that there was a
Well, that's
barrier.
true.
I couldn't see.
So as soon as you get to the split, you go right or left.
Yes.
Well, Brock about went straight. And I literally, like they say when you die, you like go back in your life and you remember that time? That's what I was doing in my head of, gosh, my childhood was so nice, and I was replaying my life. Well, he picked left.
I did.
And that was the wrong choice.
That was the wrong choice.
Because it reroutes you away from Zanesville High School. And then he's mad.
Yep.
We walked in at tip-off that night.
Sure did.
And got the job done.
Oh, man.
There's an overlying, instinct that we get the job done.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness gracious.
Real quick, we did this last. I promised that on Bad Company we're going to talk about sports.
Yes, we will.
We wanted to kind of introduce you, to kind of our background, SOSA's background, and then get into, hey, let's maybe name our favorite athletes of all time or whatever it may be. But we will talk about sports. We did this the last episode. We'll do a quick hitter.
Okay.
All right. That he's not prepared for.
No.
And that I don't even know what I'm about to ask right now. So we're going to shoot from the hip like we usually do.
Sometimes that's how the interviews go.
Right. I want you to pick one guaranteed winner. Okay. In week 1 of football. Guaranteed winner. Oh. Here's the thing.
Okay.
Cannot be Ironton. Cannot be Wheelersburg. Cannot be Jackson.
Okay.
Probably there are top 3 teams, I would say.
I'd probably say so.
Guaranteed winner in week 1.
Guaranteed winner in week 1. Okay. So let me.
You got to think about the games.
Yeah, I do. Okay.
So I'll pick mine while you think.
Good. Oh, I can run down the list.
So I'm going to guarantee.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Coach Crabtree, that Waverly wins against Miami Trace. That'll be my guarantee. Okay. In week 1, I'll be at that game. I might as well pick it. I'm going to guarantee Waverly, picks that or wins that game.
Wins that game. Okay, that's fair. Let's see here. So there's Chillicothe, Bloom Carroll, Western Brown, Hillsboro, Adina McLean. Let's see. Mechanicsburg is going to Washington, I believe so. Little Miami.
This is actually kind of impressive that he remembers.
Yeah, Warren's coming.
The entire schedule.
Warren's coming to Circleville.
You're like Rain Man.
East Clinton will play Huntington. Valley will play Paint Valley. Southeastern they play East. Let's see here.
We didn't need to know the whole schedule. We just needed a win.
Like I said, I'm trying to go down here. If I'm gonna pick a team, I'm going to say that Paint Valley beats Valley.
Ooh.
And
wow.
I'm going with Paint Valley to beat Valley.
Okay, I'll make this better. I'll guarantee. So Waverly, I think, will win, but I guarantee Valley beats Paint Valley.
Okay.
And we're going to see who wins.
Okay.
Ain't nobody stopping Anthony Aaron.
I mean, that may be true. That may be true, but I just got.
We got to bet on this. What do I win? What are you going to give me?
Oh, it might be the other way around.
I think I'm safe.
I don't think you are.
Let's do. I don't know. We're gonna have to figure that out.
Yeah, this might have to be
all right.
This might have to be an off the camera conversation, but yeah, we'll figure it out. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna go.
So
with.
Guaranteed winner, Paint Valley. Guaranteed winner, Waverly. I'm just excited to get football started.
That's very true. Also,
we every summer I feel like just kind of drags. Then it gets to August and it just flies.
Yeah.
And then, but before we know it, it'll be November and football will be over. But fall, I think, I don't want to speak for you, but I think probably your favorite season.
100%.
Definitely my favorite season. It gets cooler. And, you got so much to cover with volleyball, football, boys and girls soccer. And you get into tennis and golf and cross country. I mean, it's so much going on at the same time.
Yep.
So having said that, we were really not sure how often we're going to be doing this. We're going to try to make it a weekly, bi-weekly thing. I mean, trust me, we've still got all kinds of stories and, tales to tell. And but I can't guarantee we're going to do it every week. But it's going to be something that we want to stay consistent with, and obviously get ready for football and do our jobs in that regard. But yeah, I mean, just kind of go from there.
This is gonna be a really fun fall season. So across all sports. So we're definitely looking forward to finally getting back on the sidelines. To finally get our phones out. Get our phones out to let that video go and get these interviews going. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. We're definitely looking forward to it.
I'll say this: if you take anything from this episode, Brock speeds and Joel doesn't like to go to bed before 8:30. That's what I'll say. And I'll also remind our viewers on every Friday, Coach's Call-In Show.
Yes.
The Haynes Coaches Call-In Show, presented by Edward Jones. With we got a new cast this year. It's going to be John Bruce is switching from the color commentary out on the live streams. He's going to be hosting it with Jeff Miller, Uniota's girls basketball coach, who I'm sure everybody knows, and then Christian Spradlin behind the controls. Then our broadcast team is going to be a mix of Dewey Daly, as you've all become aware of, and Carson Francis is going to call some games, and then Shane Combs we're happy to bring over and join the booth and color commentary. And we cannot forget Kenneth Hay behind camera. So I encourage everybody to subscribe to the YouTube channel that you're on right now. And just, if you have any ideas for Brock and I for topics to cover in Bad Company, shoot them our way. We're more than happy to answer questions in a mailbag segment and go from there.
100%. That's definitely a future episode.
That'd be fun.
Gotta have a mailbag. So yeah, so absolutely. Send your questions, send your comments, anything. We will gladly talk about them.
Dewey's not single, so that's already a question answered. I know he's cute, but not single. So
that is not where I thought this was going.
Take us out, Brock.
But that is a perfect way to end episode 2. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 2 of Bad Company, presented by the Driving Authority, Hometown Chevrolet, and Chillicothe Truck. Thank you guys so much. We will see you again for episode 3.